I was gonna say Marlene. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, Brooke, who is MarLean Fitness on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for offering your time to just share a little bit of who you are, your story, your mission, your particular ministry, and just work that you want to kind of give to the space on the internet and to those with a faith and in fitness as well. Tell me a little bit about yourself first, and then we could go into some of the things we were talking about off camera or offline anyway. So,
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. I am really, really excited about this.
yes.
Yeah, so my name is Brooke, and I have a YouTube channel called MarLean Fitness, and it's a faith-based fitness channel where, you just do follow-along workouts, but I try to really incorporate prayer into that. I have like a rosary series, and I have more like just kind of saint series where we, say the glory be at the end, and, I just give you a little snippet about the saint of that day. So it kind of just depends what video you click on
Awesome.
and what you'll see. And yeah, I live in Michigan. I'm Detroit-ish kind of girl. And
Awesome.
yeah, faith is super important to me, and fitness as well is very important to me.
That's awesome. No, same here. And I love it when I see Catholic faith content mixed with fitness on social media. It's just a whole nother world, honestly. Aside from all the other stuff that you can find for the faith, it's like we need more
Mm.
like fit stuff, like fitness and faith combined. So briefly, we were talking about some fears behind starting something on, YouTube or just on the internet in general. But what inspired you to do this with your faith and your fitness? And I know we were, like I said, we were talking about some fears behind that. Go into that a little bit.
So I was actually at a friend's house, and she has two kids. Well, she has three now, but at the time she had two. And she was doing like follow along workouts on YouTube, and I did them all the time as well. The YouTuber was, dressed in immodest clothing.
Right.
Um, and she was just kind of commenting, like, man, like, and her kids were running around, and she was like, man, like, this is such a bummer that, my kids are going to see this and just think this is like normal, because she's just working
Mhm.
out, and that's just what, mom does. And
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, that is such a bummer. And then I was like, I
Right.
could totally do that. Like, I could totally do like what they're doing, but make it, like faith-based and
Right.
encourage modesty in that way. And it was just like an idea, like I wasn't like ready to run with it. And then I
Right.
started sharing the idea with some friends and some family, and they were super excited about it. And then I actually started to research it myself. I think I was like home with family on the holidays, and I was like, honestly, like some of these are just kind of like weird to have like on the TV, like in front of my family.
Right.
And I
Right.
like couldn't find anything. Like I was trying to find like modest workouts that were like good workouts.
You're
Honestly, like
focusing on the
aesthetic,
workout versus the girl's like body and her, yeah. And no,
100%.
I totally get it.
Yeah, yeah, and I couldn't find anything. Like I tried to like all these different like keywords, and it just like nothing that I was looking for was coming up. And then I was like, man, like I really need to do this. Um, and then some life things happened, and like God just kind of like perfectly made it work. And my sisters were the ones that really like were like, what are we doing? Like, why aren't you doing this? I was like, well, I don't have the space, I don't have this, like all the things that the devil tells you, like this won't work because of this and this. And they were just like, no. And then they made it happen. And I was like,
Right.
okay. And so when I initially started, I was like, it's just going to be like Christian. I'll have a crucifix up, like it'll be like,
Right.
I think the excuse I was making in my head was like, I want this to be accessible for everyone. I want everyone to be drawn to it. But I think I wasn't thinking about how people are drawn to the Catholic faith because it is the one true faith. Everyone's drawn to that truth. So I don't need to like hide and like make it like a trick, like I can
Right.
just
Right.
be like, no, I'm gonna like do the sign of the cross, and like I'm
Right.
gonna say the Our Father,
Do
like
you?
all these, yeah, I'm gonna be like real. Like I am
Yeah.
Catholic, proud of it. There's no reason for me to hide it. So, and you can see that in my videos, like gradually you're gonna be like, oh yeah, she's like not really, and then it gets like super Catholic.
No, that's beautiful. And I think it'll just inspire more people to do that when they work out and when they do active things. Because I felt the same way with this fitness space that's really saturated with in Modesty and with kind of more of the kind of like vain, shallow use of fitness versus the actual purpose of fitness and health, especially. So, for your morning routine, what's the order for you for that? For your morning routine, working out or prayer first, or how does that go?
Yeah, so I mean the first thing I try to do is like do just like a morning offering prayer, like typically as I'm laying down. I would like to say
Right?
I, hit my knees, but it's hard,
Yeah, for sure.
Um, so
We need to warm up
technically,
our knees first.
right, exactly, exactly. So technically, it's prayer that I start with. But as far as like, am I doing like a workout or am I, going to mass or like adoration or something? I am very type A, so I like plan out my whole week, and I'm like, hey, this will be workout, this will be, adoration, this will be daily mass, or this will be, I'm just like for Advent, I'm just praying with like the Advent candles, like in the morning. So it kind of looks different, but I personally love to kind of get my workout out of the way, if you will. And it like also
Mhm.
sets the tone for the day for me.
That's awesome. What do you teach at your studio?
I teach bar classes.
Oh, great. That's awesome. I haven't gotten into bar and
Mhm.
looked much into it aside from what I've seen on your content.
Yeah.
So it's so fun. I tried a couple of them. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
I
it
love it.
mostly women or is it just like a mixture of people? A mixture of
It's
different
mostly women. There's like a handful of men that I've seen,
Nice,
but it's
nice.
mostly women. Yeah. So it's awesome. It's a really beautiful community. I'm very grateful for that job. And also too, like that has led me to be more confident in general, but also like with
Yeah,
this YouTube channel, like in teaching in general, like I couldn't have started a YouTube channel without having any like background of like teaching
right.
others, you know what I mean?
For
So that,
sure.
yeah, that's been a gift. I'm very grateful.
The third question I had for you was what Bible verse do you find yourself returning to the most when it's like a tough workout or just tough seasons in life in general? And how and why does it anchor you?
Hmm. I wish I could say I was like super good at like reading my Bible and like memorizing all these verses, but I'll be real, I am
We're
not.
Catholics.
Right? Right? And I love it. Like every time I read scripture, and I read, the gospel every day.
Yeah,
So that I forget that that counts. But as far as like an actual Bible study, like I would just love if I just knew all these verses and just could say them. I'm more of like I can remember stories more than anything.
right, right.
Um, but as far as like a prayer that I'll say like during a workout, if I'm like, oh my gosh, either if I'm like in a bad mood or like the actual workout itself, I'm like, I'm dying, it's just like,
Yeah.
Jesus, give me strength. And I swear every time I'm like able to just, like he just always grants me the strength in that moment. So definitely like just a simple, Jesus, give me strength is always what I return to.
I love that. I'm definitely gonna also keep that in my affirmations when I'm in labor.
Yeah, for real. The ultimate workout.
Right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, because I've been working on my mindset during labor. It's a lot. So I'll definitely keep that in mind. Jesus, give me strength. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's so simple, but when you're more intentional about it, especially when you know that that's like your anchoring phrase or your anchoring prayer, I think it means much more than just asking Jesus, like, why, Jesus? Like,
Yeah.
why am I
Just want it all.
suffering? Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's awesome.
Mm,
Which saint inspires your discipline or your mindset, warrior? I like to call it like a warrior mindset.
yeah.
Um, but how does their story influence the way you train and persevere?
Hmm. I've always been super drawn to Saint Monica and her story.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah.
the mom of Saint Augustine.
Yes.
She was just like her prayer life was just so disciplined and like the perseverance in that and like the trust in that, you know. I feel like I can like bring
Yeah.
pieces of that into not only like fitness but like every part of my life. Like she's just a total
Right.
baller, as I would say.
Right. Right.
And then Saint Rose of Lima is my like
Mhm.
confirmation saint. So I've always been just connected to her and, you know, her practice of modesty. And I feel like that's like a great way. Oh, she's a great guide to that like warrior mindset as you were
Right.
describing. And then I feel like Saint Joan of Arc is a very obvious one. Like
Oh
she's
yeah.
a
Yeah.
literal warrior. So
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
hmm
Um, is there any particular part of their stories, like each of them, that stick out to you?
hmm For Saint Monica, yeah, just her prayer life, like just
Or
how
following Saint
consistent.
Augustine? Yeah.
Yeah, like just being like, you know, my son is in your hands. Like I,
Mm-hmm.
I it's hard to like wrap my brain around. I'm like, how are you not just like freaking out? Like my
Right.
son is going crazy. Like, you
He
know, like,
probably thought she was like a crazy mom too. So
oh,
he was
totally,
like, "Mom,
totally.
leave me alone." Like,
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Then he becomes like an amazing saint. And then Saint Rose of Lima. So she, I don't know if you know much about her story. Um,
I definitely I've heard of it multiple times, but I can't really recall exactly what went down. But
no, honestly, kind
fill
of
us
same. But
in.
there was there was a part that like when I was younger, I was like, wow, that's crazy. She was just super beautiful and men were very attracted to her, but she wanted to like, you know, preserve her purity and all that. And so she rubbed hot peppers on her face so that people would stop
I remember that.
like
Okay, yeah.
looking at her. I'm like, that's great. So that's just like the ultimate practice of modesty right there. You know, the saints are always super intense with everything they do. So
Hmm.
yeah. And then yeah, Saint Joan of Arc, just her
Yeah.
her whole story.
Literal like soldier of God. Yeah, she was
Literal,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, burned at the stake. Yeah. I love all of those women.
Mhm,
And I think they definitely can show us how to really detach from worldly things and then even like from suffering because they all
mhm,
suffered it in their own ways. So and offered it
mhm,
to God. So, what's one misconception that people have about that you've observed that people have about faith-based fitness creators, or and how do you personally overcome or push back against it, or even just like if it's something that you personally are struggling with misconceptions that you might think people have.
mm,
Yeah, how have you dealt with it
mhm.
as a
Um,
creating content and things like that?
yeah. So I it kind of ties with like my story like prior to all of this, just like a little bit. But like
Yeah.
I didn't think that like God needs to be a part of my fitness. Like whenever I was trying to lose
Mhm.
weight or like go to the gym, like never once was I like, how can I bring God into this? You know, it's just like
Right.
I just need to look good for like this person or for this thing, you know, like that
Hmm.
was like always the reason. So I feel like that's a huge like because I had that misconception, I know there's other people out there that also have that misconception. And I've
Right.
definitely talked to people about it too, you know, where I'm like, hey, have you ever tried to like bring God into it? Like, I know it sounds super weird, but like, if you
Right.
offered up literally like everything you have and you're just like, hey, this, you know, fitness journey, like whatever the goal is, like, this is all for you. Like, I want to be healthy for you. Like, my body is a temple. Like, this is the reason. I'm not trying to do this because I'm going on spring break or, you know, whatever the reason is, like it's like it can't be those like that will you can't sustain that, you know. Like the only thing that is
Right.
sustainable is when you do it for God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great mindset because I think there's a lot of pressure on social media, especially to like compete with others on a very shallow, kind of like aesthetic vein level, with every
Yeah.
post you post and every post somebody else posts. So you're like, oh, well, if she's, I think even in the Christian space, sometimes we get pulled into that amongst each other. It can be with
Hmm.
fitness or with just other things, where we kind of idolize it versus actually, and that's a big distinction too. Like that's a whole nother topic of
Yeah.
how we kind of like approach social media in general or the internet. But yeah, that's awesome. Like keeping your mind and your focus on God. I used to do a lot of 5Ks and half marathons in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things when I'm sprinting towards the finish line, I'll just think of like the Eucharist.
Oh, yeah.
Um, like the Eucharist is at the finish line, and like I'm about
Mm.
to die, and I'm like, let's go, let's get some Eucharist before I die. Like
Wow.
that's the dark place I'll
That's,
go into. But then it's
yeah.
just a 5K like on a Saturday morning, like where people eat donuts afterward. But
Yeah.
that's kind of like how far I'll go to like, want to kind of motivate myself, but you don't have to go there. Like,
No, that's beautiful. I love that.
I definitely have gone off track of that though, like with um other seasons in my life. So, um, coming back to that has been so more so rewarding than anything else, like than idolizing fitness and how you look and things like that. Um, the next question was that I had was like, especially in the fitness space, navigating modesty and confidence, strength, and fitness. Um, how do you do that while staying true to your values and your identity in Christ, especially with your journey?
Hmm. Yeah, so I struggled very much with modesty, like super, super bad in high school and college. Like it was pretty bad. And like just my mindset, like just through everything. Like it was just like when I would get dressed, I was like, who can I impress with this? Or who can, who's going, like,
Mhm.
how do I look for this person? That was always what I was thinking in my brain.
Right.
Um, and so that was just like yeah, very ingrained in me mindset that I had for years. And then I started to kind of get back into my faith in like a year before I graduated college. And yeah, I just started like slowly like surrendering things like here and there and like really giving it all to Jesus. And like honestly, the last thing that was the hardest for me to surrender was my immodesty.
Mm.
Because
Wow.
I love like trends and like being trendy and cute. And, so in my brain, I was like, I
Yeah.
can't do both of those things. Uh,
Mm.
And yeah, and I had, just some really, I still have them in my life, but women in my life who were just like really encouraged it in such a like beautiful and gentle way. And they
Yeah.
also were beautiful examples of it. And they also were, are married to husbands who appreciate, like I was just like seeing what I never saw before. Uh,
Yeah.
so that really like started it. And honestly, like having this as like a main part of my platform, it helps me and pushes me to like continue, down this because it's still like, we're sinful people. Like we're never going to be perfect in our virtues that we grow in, but something like this is like, okay, like now I can
Mhm.
hear myself asking, is this glorifying God? What I just put on right now? Like, am I trying to like look cute or is this like,
Right.
no, like this is cute. Like you can still look cute. Um,
Right.
but is this like, am I gonna like tempt anybody with this? Like that's
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
where you have to go. And of course, like that's more about like the mindset and like trying to look out for your brothers and sisters in Christ more than like,
Right.
wearing a potato sack. Like
Yeah.
people have like, you know what
Like
I mean?
something
Like,
impractical. Yeah.
yes, like people, you can't control everybody's minds, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But you can, like control definitely like your intention behind what you're wearing. Um,
Right. That's true.
And yeah, and actually this is where I wanted to mention a Bible verse because I have this in my bio on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Um I wrote it down, I don't have it memorized, but the Romans 12:2. Um,
Mm.
the do not conform to the patterns of this world. So just
Mm.
kind of just that question, like, am I like, finding myself slipping into the patterns of this world again, or like,
Right.
am I glorifying God? So yeah.
That's awesome. Is there like a kind of like an outfit template that you follow? Like, do you usually, yeah, what do you, I just thought of this question right now, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
is there like a particular, maybe like a guide for you? Like, is there a particular template or guideline you follow when you're
Yeah.
dressing for the gym or to work out or even to film on your YouTube? And
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I want to start by saying I believe that modesty looks different for everybody. I don't believe that it's possible to have like a do's list and a don'ts list because all of our bodies are so different.
right, yeah.
Um, so, and I mean, of course, I'm sure there are obvious ones
Yeah,
to
yeah.
take that, like obviously,
For
like
sure. Yes.
you know what I mean. Um,
Like you're not
but
gonna go
so
to the gym in a bikini, like
right, yeah,
or
yeah, like obviously that would be crossing the line. Um, but as far as my own personal like template, just making sure like higher cut tops.
Mhm.
Um, And if I'm wearing leggings, try to like like on my channel, I tie something around my waist.
Mhm.
Um, or yeah, just wear something like longer to kind of just cover like the bottom half.
Mhm.
If it's tight, if it's like leggings, but if it's like a looser like jogger or something or like a sweatpant, like I think I feel fine in that. Like I feel comfortable in that.
Like what I've been struggling with personally is like finding things that fit me in general
Mhm.
as being pregnant, right? So yeah, I've been trying to navigate modesty and I've been totally failing in a lot of ways. I definitely feel like I could do better. As you go through the trimesters, especially, it's like you're getting bigger and bigger. So it's like, do I have to buy, another
Oh,
set of things, So there's
yeah.
all those also, and I love how you pointed out that yeah, there's like it's not the same for everybody, and but there is like this kind of like line that we should understand as Christians that we should definitely not or try not to cross, especially and thank you for sharing your template, like how you go about it for yourself. So
Hmm. Yeah, of course.
what, when you do need, this is going into more so mentality, I think again, but when you need a mental reset, what type of workout do you turn to, and what does that choice reveal about where you are emotionally or spiritually?
Hmm. Um, yeah, so I kind of like the first thing I thought was like Pilates or like a low impact kind of workout because
Yeah.
my mindset normally is just very like go go go, like how many things can I fill into this tiny space and like just doing as much as I can all the time.
Right.
Um, and so I think yeah, if I'm like feeling burnt out or I definitely will like I just love to like go to a Pilates class and just like
Yeah.
move slowly.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
have yet to explore Pilates, but
Mm.
I've seen people doing it and it looks cool. It looks super cool. I know that, for example, like something like yoga is kind of like a controversial fitness topic in
Hmm.
Christianity. I personally don't do it anymore. I don't practice it. How do you go about when somebody asks you about it, and like what do you recommend as maybe an alternative to something like yoga?
Yeah. So yeah, really good question. I don't personally practice it either. I think it's just I did it like a couple times before I was like really practicing my faith seriously, and I honestly
Hmm.
just didn't like it. So that
Yeah.
kind of made it easy for me to be like, I'm just not gonna do it. Like there's really
Yeah.
kind of no point in the slippery slope, and with
Right.
everything that it's grounded in, it's not something that I want in my life. Um,
Right.
Now, I'm not like a priest, so I don't want to like give,
Oh, for
like
sure.
my
Yeah.
opinion is only my opinion. But I know a friend who does yoga, but she puts on Gregorian chant. So,
Yeah, yeah,
like I think that if you're strong enough in your faith, which I know that you're not supposed to say that, like you really shouldn't, like
yeah. As far
try to,
definitely as far as the I've heard it because I've heard it like constantly debated on like, YouTube channels and stuff. And I don't know.
yeah,
I guess I just wanted to talk about it because it's, we are talking about fitness and a lot of people, even Christians, do it. And so some of them are going to come across that conversation.
yeah,
Because I had a friend, we would go to Latin Mass together, back in my early 20s, but she was like a mom of like three kids or whatever. And sometimes she would do the yoga class at the gym. But she would be, as they're saying, their own kind of like Buddhist related or Hindu related. I forget what actual religion it's connected to.
I
But
think it's both.
yeah, and she would literally in her mind, she would like pray the Hail Mary the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
so I was
Oh, I
like,
did that when I took the one. I was like, "What's happening?" And I just like
yeah,
started praying Hail Marys because I was like, "Oh no."
yeah, let's not worship the sun god. Let's
Yeah,
let's pray a Hail Mary.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And I know my church or one of my church, they offer like, what is it called? It's basically like yoga, but they pray the rosary during it.
nice.
Um,
Like it's like a
Soul core,
stretching.
I believe.
Oh yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
heard about that. I need to look into that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, because obviously like the movements in general don't belong to like a religion in that sense of, when you're stretching, it's not like you're worshiping somebody or like you're
Right.
stretching,
Right.
so
And that is, I think, the argument where they're like, no, these stretches are prayers, I think
right.
is like what
Well,
it
for
is.
yeah, if you're practicing yoga, yes. So they
Right.
definitely believe that their particular movements are like connected to their pagan or whatever religion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Well,
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
just something that I think Soul Core does is because my sister does it sometimes. And
Right.
when they're, because I try, like, even when I teach, I try not to say like things like child's pose or like
Mm,
downward dog or whatever, because I think those are all like yoga terms.
hmm.
Um, so I'll just say like, push your hips back or like bring your hips up kind of thing.
Yeah,
And in my like earlier videos, I was, saying
we're
those
using
words.
those
So
terms. Yeah,
yeah, so I've developed,
that's awesome. Yeah.
but one of the things that I believe Soul Core does is they like when you're in that, push back child's pose position,
Yeah.
is to flip your palms up as an offering for God. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like a beautiful way to like, and I sometimes I'll do that just when I'm like stretching. I'm just like, oh yeah, like this, I'm gonna offer this up. It's kind of
No.
a beautiful way to make it something actually prayerful.
Yeah, no, yeah, kind of like reorienting the position and the meaning, and I think that's kind of like, yeah, get as we get deeper in our faith, for someone who is kind of exploring the idea of not practicing yoga as a like religious like fitness practice or whatever in that
Mhm.
sense,
Yeah.
but reorienting their body and their mindset, and yeah, so that's a great, well, I need to look more into soulcore for sure.
Yeah,
um
yeah, they're awesome.
what virtue do you feel fitness trains in you the most, and how does that show up in real life for you?
Hmm. Oh, I wrote down like four of them.
Yeah, sure. Share it all if you want.
Um, okay, I'll share them all, but then I'll just talk about one. So
Okay.
I said diligence, gratitude, obedience, and modesty. I also had to look them up because I was like, what are actually all of the virtues? Like, I know there's like a ton.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think like gratitude just it helps me in like every aspect in life. Like, there is
Mm,
nothing that gratitude can't defeat.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
so yeah, I feel like that just helps me, yeah, to just show up and do the thing when I don't want to do it.
hmm.
Um, and then it helps, the gratitude helps to grow in those other virtues of, diligence, obedience, modesty. Like it inspires all of that all into kind of one.
That's awesome. No, I totally agree with that. Because I think like, when you mention like showing up when you don't want to show up, or yeah, when you're training something, some sort of um whatever type of workout it is, and maybe it's harder than normal and you're trying to find gratitude when you're
Mm,
doing it, or find
mm,
it reminds me of like especially martyrs of the faith who experience like actual like suffering and pain, and how
yeah,
they push through, like the endurance of that. And so I think that that can definitely translate in a lot of ways. How they just praise God for praise God during their suffering, and showing gratitude to God during like their
mm,
actual martyrdom and their, in that sense. So I think
yeah.
it can go deep. It can go real deep. So
Oh yeah.
um for you, what is the core message? Or yeah, for your ministry especially, what is the core message you hope Catholic women receive when they watch, or because I don't know if I wasn't sure if your YouTube channel was specifically for women or just for every Catholic in general.
Hmm.
And that's totally awesome if it is either way.
Hmm.
So yeah, what's the core message you hope that Catholics or Catholic women receive when they watch your videos or follow your journey?
Mm. Um, yeah, I would say just that it's not possible to reach your fitness goals without Christ involved.
Yeah.
Because I've tried many times, as I mentioned before, and I did not see results externally or internally until I, finally started offering my workouts for God, and my nutrition. Um, and then I also would hope to inspire modesty in, how they dress, and to know that, even in our conversation, like we're just not alone in that. We're not alone in that temptation. And just to know that it's not lame to be modest,
Yeah.
as I once
That's
thought it
awesome.
was for real.
Yeah. No,
um,
for sure.
yeah. And my channel is, probably more so geared towards women, like moms and even like teenagers, I would say, but obviously, men can do it
Yeah.
as well.
Definitely. That's beautiful. That's awesome. What's your favorite way to integrate prayer or reflection into your training? Is it before, during, after, or woven throughout your workout? I know you have it on your YouTube too, but if you want to share on for those watching.
Yeah, so I would say overall, there's not a perfect formula as far as like when I'm working out and not, recording. Um, because yeah, in my recordings, I do the rosary or like I said, the glory be, just depending on what series I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but as far as like when I'm working out and, I'm not on camera, if you will. Um, yeah, I would say I don't have like a consistent formula. Like
Okay.
I kind of wish I did, but it looks very different, like seriously every time. When I used to do like 6 a.m. workouts, I would, say a prayer in my car, like, Lord, thank you for bringing me here. Like, this is amazing that my body can move in this way and that I'm, ready to start my day in this way. And then, like we talked about before, like, Jesus, give me strength, like during the workout. And
Yeah.
then a lot of times when I'm stretching, like at a class, I am just giving gratitude, like, thank you, God. Like, that was a really good workout. And I'm so grateful that I got to do that. So it kind of more is just like conversation with God, like,
Yeah.
depending.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Just having that presence of mind um with your relationship with God is really good. I mean, I think that takes definitely practice
Hmm.
and over time, as far as remembering to acknowledge God and be grateful in those moments, especially. So that's awesome.
Hmm.
What has your biggest challenge as a Catholic Christian YouTuber in the fitness world? What has been your biggest challenge? And how has your faith helped you navigate it?
Yeah, my biggest personal challenge has been like getting discouraged and lost in comparison.
Mm,
As I'm sure you can relate in like the social media world, it's like so easy to do. Like,
yeah.
you see, where other people are at, and you're like, why am I not there? Or, oh, it's because this is better than mine is, or, whatever it is. And then that
Mhm.
kind of leads to discourage thoughts and just, yeah,
Right,
just like, why
right.
am I even doing this? That's kind of
Yeah,
been my biggest struggle, especially with like YouTube world, like we're not getting paid, hopefully
yeah.
yet. Like hopefully maybe it comes to that. Um,
For
But then
sure.
I would say more times than not, I'm like remembering like why I started this. And I go back to like that time with my friend and being like, there was a need and like Christ called me to
Right.
fill this need. And now like, before I, wasn't getting comments or whatever. So I had no idea what people were thinking or if they've been watching them. Like, no idea.
Yeah.
And now I'm receiving like some really, really beautiful comments from people. And I'm like, okay, so even if I'm doing this just for one person, like this is worth it. Um,
Right.
so I think, yeah, in that way, my faith has helped me to
That's awesome.
recognize the why. Hmm.
I mean, yeah, if you were thinking what you were thinking when you were first trying to find more like modest or even like Catholic Christian content, faith, fitness mixed with fitness, and then realizing what it wasn't there or it wasn't as prevalent. I mean, that just goes to show if it's you searching for that, and then there's probably others also searching for that as well. Like same here, being a martial artist in jiu-jitsu. I've always thought there was a lack of that, a lack of what is it? Blending faith with martial arts. And when I first wanted to start my own stuff too, I was like, this looks ridiculous. Like people aren't going to be, wanting to mix faith with, martial arts. But it's like, wait a minute, like there's so many correlations as far as spiritual warfare and, the warrior mindset, all that stuff. So I'm definitely working on as well, like my own personal confidence in that as well. So I totally get
Yeah.
it. And that's awesome that you're doing that and that you're staying focused on that mission. I think
Hmm.
reminding yourself that is definitely necessary because yeah, sometimes you could just get lost in comparison, especially. So if you could give one piece of advice to a woman beginning her fitness and faith journey, whether it's struggling with self-worth or insecurity, what would you tell her?
Gosh, I feel like I would probably share my testimony with her,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and just say, like how I also struggled with all those things and still do. And just, yeah, continue to encourage her that, once I brought God into all of this, and allowed him to guide my nutrition, discipline, and my overall mindset, that it just kind of removed all the pressure that I was putting on myself.
I like this one quote. It's like your mess is your message, or what was your mess is now your message. Not that you had a whole mess or whatever, but
Oh, no,
like,
I did.
but it's your message. And
Yeah.
yeah, like Saint Augustine, and he was definitely a messy guy, and his
Mhm.
mom helped pray him into being a huge light and message to the world. So. What is one thing that God has been teaching you lately through your training? Yeah, through your training, like discipline, surrender, trust. What's one thing?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would say trusting in his timing.
Mm,
That his timing is perfect because I reflect on the beginning of all of this, and like there were so many moments that I was like, I'm at this point, I will never get, this many subscribers or this many views. Like nobody's gonna watch these. I want results right now.
right, right,
Um, and yeah, and just like trusting and being patient has just helped me to stay really grounded. And again, remember why I'm doing this.
right,
And just, yeah, for the women who long to include Christ in their fitness journey, like that's what this is for. So definitely, yeah, growing and like trusting in his timing because I tend to be a little impatient. So this has been, and I know everybody says like YouTube is a very like you have to be patient for YouTube.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that in general has been like, yeah, helpful for sure.
yeah. I feel like YouTube is the more gradual growth. I think TikTok is a random like beast. I'm on TikTok as well. I went viral once. And then I gained a lot of followers, and then like after that, it was like nothing. It was like, okay,
Yeah,
like,
crazy. Yeah,
and being and going viral, these things definitely shouldn't be like the goal as far as just going viral, right? Just to get
right.
attention. But like the actual purpose of like if you went viral to like share the faith, and maybe it's just this one video that went viral, that's awesome because then you got out a particular message.
Hmm.
that God wanted to share with the world. And so that's amazing. And if God's like, okay, like you're done being viral, like,
It's like,
and
okay,
then move
fine.
on to the next thing, so definitely keep doing it because I know that it'll definitely show up. God will show up for you with through that. So
Thank
uh,
you.
what's next for your mission or your content, and how do you hope God uses it in the lives of your audience?
Yeah, so I'm really excited because currently I have an Advent series going on. So every Monday in during Advent, I'm posting through the so we just did what's the first one? Oh my gosh.
You mean
Hope
like
this
the,
week.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, hope is this week, and then next week is I believe peace, and then joy, and then love. Um,
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
so just kind of I read a little bit of scripture in the beginning of the workout, like super short, and then at the end we end with like a Advent prayer for the week of, hope, peace, or whatever it is. So that's those are really fun to record for sure. We have I have the candles and everything. Um, and then I haven't actually announced this on any of my socials yet, but I'm
Uh-huh.
doing a 8 days of Christmas series. So starting on Christmas Day, it's a fit and festive Angelus series. So we're praying the Angelus together.
Oh,
Uh, and they are 10-minute workouts. So 8 videos in a row, just a 10-minute workout. So I wanted to make it very accessible during the holidays because people, like, I'm visiting family, I'm not around like in my usual routine. Most people are not in their routine. Most
yeah,
people are feeling kind of like off and, like lost.
right.
A great way to, it's just 10 minutes. You can do it with your family. There's no equipment that is needed. Uh, and we pray during it. So, it's like a 2 for 1. You can, it's
Awesome.
kind of like the rosary series in that way, where like we're
Yeah.
praying and working out rather than, in the beginning or the end. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited for that.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. How do you, yeah, with regards to your programming, this is off the questions, but like, yeah, with
Yeah.
your programming and everything, is that, do you kind of just, um, go off of something that, like inspires you, or like does something just come into your mind and or your heart and you're just like, okay, let me, kind of see this through and like then the program comes, or how does that look like for you?
Yeah, a little bit of both, I would say. So a couple of years ago, I got really into liturgical living and just like the seasons of, and
Mm,
also like
yeah.
feast days, all of that. It's just so fun. Like I love an excuse to like throw a party or like make a treat or, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm really into that. So I think that a little bit of knowledge kind of helped me to like come
Yeah.
up with just really fun series ideas. And for
Yeah.
Christmas, like I know everybody on YouTube does like Vlogmas, and I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no chance I could do 25 workouts like in a row. I was like, that's gonna be crazy. Like, there's just I don't have the time for that because I record at my parents' house, which is about 45 minutes away from me. So it's not
Oh,
like I'm just home and can just like do a workout. You know what I mean? Like it requires a lot of planning. Um,
right. Right.
yeah, just kind of trying to, navigate ways like, okay, what are like, that's the first thing I think of is like, what's the, Catholic thing going on this month, like October is the rosary. Like, okay, what can I do? So yeah, just really like basing it off of the liturgical year, essentially.
That's awesome. Okay,
Hmm.
I'm gonna steal that. Like
Oh yeah,
as
please,
I'm
please.
as I'm working on my own stuff too, because yeah, I've definitely yeah, there because there as you get more into content creation, it's like you kind of have to find a way that works for you that is structured, but is still something that you can be flexible with because it can get overwhelming with trying to come up with content and that's valuable and that helps your audience. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I think we're wrapping it up. What how can people find you? What's your info? I know I'll post it too on the video description and everything. And then like if there's anything, any other like message that you want to share before we close up.
Yeah, yeah. So my main platform is on YouTube, so MarLean Fitness, but it's Lean. And I'm also on Instagram. I'm on TikTok with that same name, MarLean Fitness.
Awesome.
So yeah, please subscribe and follow and all that good stuff and comment if you found me from here. That'd be awesome. And I'm
Yes.
yeah, just so grateful to have this conversation with you. Like this was really beautiful and it, is so helpful and encouraging to speak with another woman in the Catholic fitness space on YouTube. Like it's just so niche
Yeah.
and it's so important for us to connect in this way. So yeah, I'm just super grateful.
I'm super grateful too, honestly. Like I'm even just more inspired and blessed by hearing your story and even just talking about things like modesty, how you approach your, how you create content and how you want to be present on social media or in YouTube especially. And since you're on TikTok, I'll find you and I'll follow you and then I'll
Yes. Yeah.
because I'm definitely trying to edit the posts and everything and post them on my main platforms, which as of right now is like kind of like YouTube and TikTok. As of right now, I'm kind of like a lot on TikTok right now, but
Hmm.
I'll
Hmm.
make sure to tag you in wherever I'm putting it on. Yeah. Did you say like a final message or like is there any other message you want to share? Last words, I guess, for the
That was my
interview.
final word. Yeah. Um, yeah, I would just say, in whatever way makes sense for people to find Christ in their fitness journey, to do that. Like whether it is through MarLean Fitness or, your warrior mindset, uh there it exists out there. Like we Catholic women are
Yeah.
we're savvy and we're doing it. We're doing the thing. And it's like the world exists. You know what I mean? You just have to find it. And
Right, exactly.
yeah, and I think that's the message, just bring God into all of it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I will make sure to post all your socials and everything on the YouTube, on the description. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
God
you so much.
bless. Love
Yes,
you.
God bless you.
God bless you.